Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's that time of week again. We're going to be doing the NFL picks, and honestly, it's been a little bit of a rough week for me. Busy week all around in the rest of my life, so I haven't had the kind of research and stuff that I normally do coming into these videos. Maybe looked over each game as a total of 2, maybe 3 hours. The spreads, like having trouble checking what the spreads opened at. My source for that isn't here, and I haven't really looked too closely at what the spreads are for the week so far. I still got to do my pool picks, but if you are interested in my spread picks, because pretty well, check out my Twitter, right? So Pittsburgh at Atlanta, and we're just going to stick with Pickem because that's what I've kind of been doing. I think with this one, I like what Pittsburgh really showed with that big win over Indy on the road. I think a lot of the public might be leaning to go Pittsburgh here with the defense they got rolling out pretty well. Did pretty good against Indy last week. Some turnover-worthy plays. Pretty much put them in a place to win, whereas Atlanta's kind of been on the free fall down. Technically, I would think, though, this game definitely means a lot more to Atlanta. In theory, they have a shot at catching up to Tampa Bay in the division. So I probably would put a little bit of edge here. We got Mariota still playing somewhat strong offensively. This game's going to be very, very close game. Could go either way. I'm going to go with the home team, Atlanta Falcons, being able to pull this one out. The run game's going to be tough if they can get that going. Next up, Bears hosting the Packers, and so far the Packers still are in a chance for playoffs. It seems like if they have a chance for playoffs, we're going to see Aaron Rodgers. So very likely he's going to be the one going, maybe a short leash. We saw a little bit of Jordan Love last week, and he looked pretty good, right? So don't be surprised if once Packers are out of it, we see a lot more Jordan Love for fantasy. Could come up if you are desperate need of quarterback. Look for that. Fields questionable still for this week. I think that plays a huge factor. And since I don't know, I'm going to go with Green Bay. If Fields plays, there's a chance that Chicago really takes this one, but I think without him, no chance. Next up, Baltimore into Denver. This one I know is about 9.5-point spread, which is kind of surprising to me. I know the Ravens they should win this game, but the Ravens are anything but predictable this season, whereas we can pretty much predict that the Broncos are going to have no offense. So at the very least, I would expect Baltimore to win. So much hate going on towards Wilson, and what a mistake that was. Got to feel a little sorry for this new team, new coach this year, new quarterback. Injuries galore on the offense. We got Williams out all season, so a little bit of feel bad there, but I think the Broncos are going to keep that one close enough that they should take strong consideration for the spread. Next up, Jacksonville coming into Detroit, and Detroit had won 3 in a row, and they played the Bills pretty tough, and they're at home here. I've always had a lot of confidence in this Lions team, and I like to take them in the spread. I don't know what the spread is for this one, but I'm going to go with home team Lions here. Jacksonville, they did have that nice win last week, but yeah, you can go either way here, really. Don't get it. Watson's coming back for Cleveland and Houston, and I don't think that has anything to do with why I'm picking Cleveland. Cleveland's just a better team. Houston's got 1 win on the season. I guess you could say they could steal one here. There's a lot of hype around this game. If they steal one here, that's the end of the Browns season, in my opinion. So the Browns better show up, and it would be a very Browns thing to do to lose that one. Jets coming into Minnesota. Minnesota still looking very strong as a huge playoff possible contender. It's whether Kirk Cousins can maintain the turnover ratio in his favor. This is a good test for him to see if they should come up, to see if he's like taking that next step, right? It's a good test, and the Jets, this is a good test for them to show what kind of team they are. I do think the Vikings win, and I think they're the better team, and I don't know if I quite trust the offense of the Jets that we saw last week coming into this week. So yeah, just pick them there. Next up, Giants and the Commanders. This Commanders team is somehow continuing to win with Heineke as their quarterback. I've been a huge Barkley fan all season, and I'm going to continue to ride his hot hand in my season. I like them here all around on both sides of the ball. I think I honestly would give them the edge on both sides of the ball, just slightly, which compounds into like a little bit of a bigger edge. But yeah, like the Giants in that division matchup, we could see Washington making some serious gains should they win. This game is going to be one of the better ones of the week, I think. Tennessee going into the Eagles, and highlight this one because we're going to see an Eagles team that's been holding steady at that one loss now. But this Titans team they could really show themselves as a true contender in this battle. Green Bay ran the ball pretty well last week against the Eagles, so it would be interesting to see how this offense of Tennessee kind of comes in there. Will Derrick Henry be able to run the ball like Green Bay did last week? I could very well see a very high-scoring game in this one, 30 points on both sides. Again, don't trust me, my over-under predictability is not the greatest. Seahawks going into the Rams, and at the beginning of the season, we all know I say this pretty much every week. We probably would have laughed if we said we were going to be picking this team to win this one. But I think the Rams have pretty much packed it in. And I realized I didn't make my pick here. I'm actually going just safe, just playing it safe. Not surprised if the Titans win at all. It's going to be a shootout in my books. And back to Seahawks. That's it. Seahawks better team. They have more to play for. This Rams team is a disaster. Their season's packed in. Division game though, always questionable. But this next game, Dolphins going to San Francisco. McCaffrey was questionable. I didn't follow up on that, so do your research on that. But Dolphins offense finally running into where he came from in San Francisco. Watching these two coaches match each other up, who's going to come out on top? We all know it's going to be the Dolphins. So not much else to talk about. Dolphins are going to walk on with this one. This offense with Tua, it's just continuing to cruise. And I think San Francisco, like their record's a little bit better than I give them credit for. And I know that's been a theme of me and San Francisco teams, I guess, on this channel, because Giants fans argue the same thing. I've seen 49ers fans say the same thing. So maybe I'm just discounting the 49ers a little bit, so keep that in mind. Chiefs Bengals rematch of the AFC Championship last year, where the Chiefs blew that halftime lead, and they're not going to forget it. Chris Jones is in a position here where we've seen like the top defensive linemen have games against the Bengals earlier in the season when the offensive line was still relatively new. But in a Pickem style, I'm going to go with the Chiefs. Andy Reid doesn't sleep on this game whatsoever. Mahomes probably still has nightmares about this game. So they are ready to come in there with a big W. Chargers, Raiders. This game's going to be great. I actually have somewhat been excited watching these Raiders. I know I give them a lot of hype each week. I think they've been a little bit underrated. Devontae Adams leading the league in wide receiver touchdowns. Third in the league in targets. Like, this guy's still been monster. Jacobs is having a monster season. So offense can get it done. This game could very well be a 24-13 kind of win for the Raiders. I wouldn't be surprised if I see a tight defensive game and Herbert just hasn't been able to get the yards per pass attempt up this season. There's a lot down from last year. So that's something to watch if you haven't been taking a notice of that. I'm going to continue to ride the Raiders. I'm laughing because, like, the fact that I must have picked the Raiders to win 6 in a row or something. Go back and look. If someone goes back and look, I'll give you something. But, yeah. Indy going into Dallas. Dallas just going to win this one. I can't believe that Indy's getting another primetime game, honestly. I don't really, I'm not going to watch this game. I'm going to have Dallas as my pick and probably to cover as well. I don't even know what the spread is, but I'm just going to ride them. and I'm gonna skip the game, so I'm not gonna watch it. Saints, Tampa Bay Bucks. This, on the other hand, is much more exciting for me because Brady has been owned by the Saints, and I'm gonna play into that narrative. I don't like what I've been seeing with Brady in the Tampa Bay offense this year, and I do like what I've been seeing with the Saints defense. So I'm just gonna pick a big upset here. Will it be an upset? I don't know. I don't know what the spread is. I don't know if it will be an upset. I expect to see like 3.5, maybe 2.5 as a spread. So I'll be interested to check that out. But guys, there you have it. We got bye weeks, Panthers and Cardinals, and we saw Thursday where I already picked the Bills to win. And there you have it. There's the week. Hope you guys have a great day. Let me know what your guys' picks are below, and we'll see you for that next video.